So, it started as a whisper in the data vein, so subtle that it appeared to be dismissed as just another glitch in the constant cosmic background noise. A single, brief anomaly caught by a high-altitude, deep space observatory in orbit above Earth. But in a matter of hours, that whisper became unmistakable evidence. Multiple observatories around the world, Australia, Hawaii, and Chile all confirmed it. Our solar system was being invaded by an object, a strange comet or asteroid with no normal or predictable course of gravitational behavior. This was different, something that moved as though it wanted to go somewhere. And then came the moment that made the world halt. One of the most well-known figures in theoretical physics, Michio Kaku, stepped calmly onto a stage and revealed to the world that we were witnessing what might be one of the most important discoveries in human history. The object, now known as 3 Atlas, was acting differently from any natural body we've ever observed. It slowed down when it ought to have accelerated. It changed direction with accuracy no arbitrary space rock could accomplish, and it released subtle, deliberate signals that were structured, impossible to overlook. The room caved into silence, the type of silence in which even breathing feels too loud. As Kaku foretold, it might be more than just a piece of space debris drifting. This could be a messenger, a scout, or something else entirely, something that could alter humanity's place in the universe. The first detection of 3 Atlas came from a high-tech telescope looking at the Kuiper Belt, that vast ring of frozen debris and icy bodies beyond Neptune, drifting in quiet isolation. However, what made this finding so bizarre was how the light signature of the object always changed. In most cases, sunlight reflecting off a comet or asteroid produces a stable pattern that varies only during its rotation. 3 Atlas, however, showed irregular but controlled fluctuations, almost as if the reflection itself was being manipulated. The first idea was a sensor malfunction. Nonetheless, the same anomaly appeared in multiple independent instruments separated by thousands of miles. Soon, its course was set in stone, and that's when things became really unsettling. As it entered the gravitational influence of the sun, it didn't go as fast as expected. Instead, it barely slowed down, but enough to send shockwaves through the astrophysics community. This type of maneuver would require a form of propulsion or drag control completely unknown to current human technology. And yet, here it moved as though planned by something at the helm, navigating our system with deliberate attention. Models demonstrated that it was preparing for a
close encounter with Jupiter's magnetosphere, positioned to make use of the vast gravity for a slingshot maneuver. This wasn't guesswork or luck. This was orbital mechanics executed with precision, the type of move we employ in our own missions to other planets, except this did not belong to us. As the object ventured deeper into the solar system, the world's most sensitive radio telescope started to detect something unexpected, a faint but repeating electromagnetic pattern emanating from 3 Atlas. Natural objects usually produce continuous radio noise in chaotic bursts caused by their interaction with cosmic rays or the solar wind. This, however, was different. This was ordered, structured, repeating at intervals that were too precise to be random. The signal's intrigue was even greater. It was multi-layered, appearing simultaneously in radio, infrared, and microwave frequencies. This suggested not only advanced control over energy output, but also the possibility of numerous information distribution channels broadcasting immediately. The James Webb Space Telescope locked its instruments onto the object and confirmed something extraordinary. Its surface absorbed sunlight significantly more effectively than any natural substance, only to release that energy in carefully timed pulses of infrared radiation. To some, it looked like communication. To others, it was data transmission, perhaps back to wherever it originated. Michio Kaku provided an evocative analogy. If you found a perfect bottle floating in the middle of the ocean, you wouldn't assume the tides prevailed. You would know it was made for a purpose. 3 Atlas was that bottle, drifting through the vast ocean of space, its message still locked inside. The next shock came when high-resolution imaging finally revealed the object's true form. 3 Atlas wasn't the irregular chunk of rock or ice we're used to seeing from visitors from deep space. It was symmetrical, angled, and its surface seemed to shift not chaotically like an asteroid that falls steadily, but deliberately, almost like the sails of a ship adapting to shifting winds. This resulted in one of the most contentious theories, the possibility that 3 Atlas was not entirely mechanical but a hybrid of technology and biology. Its exterior appeared to be made of advanced metamaterials with the ability to change configuration in real time to optimize its position against solar radiation, magnetic fields, and wind pressure. Some experts suggested it could even self-repair microscopic damage from micrometeoroid impacts. Others speculated that it might possess adaptive camouflage, altering reflective properties to evade detection until it chose otherwise. The implications of such engineering are staggering. It would mean its creators had mastered a design level at which the distinction between living organism and machine no longer exists. And if it could adapt like a living thing, its travel through space might not only be a programmed route, it might be a choice. Perhaps the most unsettling thing about 3 Atlas is not what it has done, but what it has not done. It has never changed course toward Earth, never sent a signal in our direction, never carried out any action that might be interpreted as a contact attempt. Instead, it continues along its calculated route through the plane of the planets without interruption, like a surveyor marking things off a list. As a result, intense rumors suggest that it is just one of many probes, members of a vast, unseen network keeping an ear out for star systems across the universe. If so, then Earth is not unique, just another point along a much larger mission. Some researchers, echoing Kaku's caution, believe this could be a kind of test that they wouldn't like, but for us, our capacity to react and collaborate globally, our willingness to put knowledge ahead of fear. These could all be variables under observation. And if that's the case, perhaps the point is the silence due to the fact that the loudest message may be the one left unsent. As 3I Atlas moved deeper into the inner solar system, energy readings from multiple observatories began to reveal a behavior that went against the norm of astrophysics. The majority of interstellar objects absorb and release solar radiation in predictable patterns, their thermal production increasing steadily as they draw farther from the sun. But 3I Atlas sounded like it was following its own rules. The temperature at its surface did not rise consistently. Instead, it shot up and dropped precisely at regular intervals, almost like a beating heart. These pulsations of heat were synchronized with bursts of emitted electromagnetic energy, implying intentional transformation of sunlight into controlled energy discharges. Some experts suggested that it may be utilizing a type of photonic propulsion by subtly utilizing photons to change its speed without visible thrusters. Others speculated that it might be supplying power to internal systems, maybe for data scanning or even navigation transmission over interstellar distances. The frightening aspect, these energy bursts were not random. They seemed to adjust to its shifting position relative to planetary magnetic fields, as if it were interacting or mapping with them intentionally. When data from the electromagnetic bursts was plotted over time, something remarkable and deeply disturbing emerged. The time that passed between certain patterns was followed by pulses that correlated with standard mathematical constants, the golden ratio, pi, and patterns of prime numbers. These values are not only foundational in mathematics and nature, but they are also widely considered potential indicators of intelligence in SETI investigations because they transcend culture and language. Michio Kaku himself made the observation that these patterns could be used as a standard handshake, a straightforward method for a civilization to say, "We understand the same truths you do." While skeptics argued that nature can produce apparent order through the statistical probability of coincidence, these random patterns that appeared in this context were so insignificant. The deeper meaning was chilling. If these patterns were designed, Atlas wasn't just moving through our star system. It was leaving behind breadcrumbs, perhaps to see if we would be aware. Additional observations made by the James Webb Space Telescope revealed that 3I Atlas's surface did not simply reflect light, it manipulated it. The ghostly analysis revealed that various segments of its exterior shifted their positions in real time, dynamically adjusting their albedo depending on its position relative to the Sun and nearby planets. With this adaptive skin, it might be able to regulate temperature, conceal its optical signature, or optimize energy absorption. The changes were localized and moved quickly to be caused by natural geological processes. They resembled the disciplined conduct of engineered nanomaterials. Some scientists began to compare it to the sails of our own light-propelled spacecraft, except infinitely more advanced, able to capture not only light but also bend it around itself, effectively concealing portions of its structure ahead of time. This led to an uncomfortable inquiry. If it can choose when and how it's visible, how many other objects like it have passed through our solar system completely unseen? A final projected trajectory of 3I Atlas revealed another puzzle. Rather than continuing along a natural, hyperbolic route back into deep space, it appeared to be adjusting for a complex departure route, one that would take it out of the ecliptic plane at an unusual angle. This maneuver would require deliberate changes in speed, and the chosen path didn't align with any known gravitational assist patterns. In simpler terms, it wasn't leaving in the most energy-efficient way. It was leaving in the way it wanted to. Analysts suggested it might be heading toward a particular location in interstellar space, perhaps for a rendezvous with something else. If that's the case, then its time here was not random at all. It was a planned stop on a larger journey. And that means somewhere out there beyond what our telescopes can see, there may be other objects waiting. 3I Atlas is now gliding toward the solar system's edge, its strange geometry catching the sun's final rays before it disappears into the cold dark. It has passed every planet without a single deviation toward Earth, never sending one clear signal that acknowledges our presence directly. Yet, in every maneuver, in every pulse of energy, in every mathematically precise interval, there is a glimmer of intention. Michio Kaku warns that if the object in question is, as the data suggests, a product of technology far older and more advanced than our own, then we are not merely examining a visitor. We are looking at proof that the universe is not empty, that civilizations capable of crossing the gulf between stars exist, and that they may have been watching us far longer than we are aware of. If 3I Atlas came here as an observer, a messenger, or something entirely different, the silence may be the most calculated message of all. It might be telling us, we see you, we are present, but we are not ready to say so. And the real question, the one that will haunt us long after it's gone, is whether that decision was theirs or ours. If you want to follow every new piece of data, every trajectory change, and every hint regarding what 3I Atlas truly is like this video, subscribe and turn on notifications, because once this story reaches its end, it could redefine humanity's place in the universe.